Okay. Hey, nerds. This week on Fiction Fanatics, we're heading into a world of fantasy, heart, and a little bit of magic with the amazing Riley S. Quinn, author of Gold and Gosmere. This debut has everything we love: lush world building, complex characters, and a story that reminds us why fantasy will always have our hearts. We're so pumped to have Riley here with us. Thanks for joining us tonight.
Thank you for having me.
Yay, it's so exciting. Your book is beautiful.
Thank you.
I just have it on display right now because it's so pretty.
Thank you. I designed the cover myself.
It's amazing. I was gonna say, if people can't see and just listening, not seeing YouTube, your like background curtains are very beautiful too. So very good aesthetic. It matches the vibe of the book. It cover is truly beautiful too. So
Well, thank you. Welcome to my
yeah,
dining room.
love it. Okay, so can you tell us a little bit to start off, a little background about you, how you got into writing?
Yeah, I'd be happy to.
Okay.
As you said, my name is Riley S. Quinn. I have been writing for an audience since around 2020, 2021. That's when I first hopped on social media. And really, originally, I was just playing around with a concept in my free time because I was in college for animation.
All
So I
right.
wanted to keep my world building skills sharp and my concept art portfolio full.
Mm-hmm.
But, as I would work on projects, I started to fall in love with them and expand them. And I was posting them as I developed them online, and people were really interested in the stories I was creating. So I started writing them down. I started focusing on the craft, and I ended up enjoying it more than the art. So I started publishing novels. I wrote a trilogy before this that was a learning experience more than anything. It has a special place in my heart, but Golden Gossamer, my recent novel, I think is the first one that I'm actually seeing some skill in and really proud of. So I'm excited to see it come out. Yay.
Yeah, that's so cool. So, what kind do you still do animation in the art part too, or are you just strictly focusing on writing right now?
Oh, I draw every day.
Okay.
Most of my social media is actually art and animations created for the worlds of my books now. And I
Mm.
also work with other authors often in my commissioned work, and I'll create animations for their projects or just illustrations to have little giveaway art, maybe some bookmarks. But the two communities are very intertwined for me,
Hmm.
and that's what's made it so special.
That's so cool. You just have like a hand in both. Like, you because like what you're visualizing and what like you're writing about, you actually like we can see what you're imagining because you're doing the artwork for it. It's great.
It's really
Hmm.
helpful to have my own concept art team in my brain.
Hmm. Yeah. And I always think I love fan art. I love and like, commissioned art that goes with books, novels. It just makes it so much more layered. I love that visual with it. So how cool that you can just do it yourself, Like
Yeah.
exactly how you picture it without having to have someone else do it. It's really cool.
Thank you.
Yeah. Okay, so what first inspired this book? Was there like a specific image that sparked the idea, or how did it come about?
So, this is actually a funny story. It ties into what I was saying about animation and posting online. I had just wrapped up my previous trilogy, and I was excited to finally play around with some art that wasn't tied to any planned project. So, I just did a little animation of a fairy queen, and I posted it, and I was like, oh my gosh, guys, look at this cute little thing I made. What should we name her? And then she
Hmm.
had a name, and then somebody commented on it, and they're like, oh, you should do a version with a guy who turns into a king. And I was like, oh, I don't animate a lot of guys. I should do that.
Hmm.
So I created a companion animation of a man.
Hmm.
And then I was like, wait, they kind of look cute together. And even though I set out to make art that wasn't attached to something for once, the next week I had a whole world. I had their whole love story mapped out. And I
Oh,
started posting about it, and everybody got really excited. And I said, well, I guess I have my next book.
I love that.
It was definitely thanks to the community I've built, around my
Hmm.
work. I think that
Hmm.
I intended to write the one trilogy and then kind of just move on to other artistic work. But seeing people's love
Hmm.
and excitement for that project and then their encouragement for me to keep going with the new one, it was very much like a project made out of love, not just my love for it, but also their love for
Hmm.
it. So I'm very grateful to the people who watched it evolve ever since January 2023 into what it is right now.
Wow. That's so interesting that that sparked just people who already like your work, love your work, follow you, and it just sparked this like chain event of now, because and I've held the book too, but like it must be so surreal to know that it started from that and then hold the physical book in your
It's
hands.
so
pretty. So pretty.
Thank
Yeah.
you.
So pretty.
Has glitter all over the back from my Christmas decorating because I freakishly early.
Oh. Oh, I feel like a lot of people are putting up Christmas decorations right now.
We need the good vibes.
I think that's it. Yeah. So how does your personal experience influence your characters and themes in this book, or does it at all?
I think probably more than I'm willing to admit. I've had a lot of people point out things about characters that I write, and they're really
Mhm.
good, deep analyses. And there'll be like 3 paragraphs in my comments of like, wow, this really shows how this character is so deeply insecure about this thing. And I'll go, oh, yeah, character.
Yeah.
Great observation. That's totally not directly from my
Hmm.
life and terrifying that you caught that so perfectly when the book's not even out yet. But I think just like overall themes that play a lot in my work and specifically in, the lead, Dante, just like a very intense obligation to protect the people you care about. I'm an eldest daughter, so
Mm.
that's a pretty common experience, but also
Yeah.
the desire to be as perfect as possible so you don't let anyone down. I've been doing a lot of work on that, developing a much healthier relationship with it. So I'm very proud of myself for that. But I do think a lot of that self-reflection actually took place as I was drafting the story. And,
Mm.
Dante goes on this journey of learning to accept himself and allow people to love him the way that he loves them. And I feel like I kind of went on that journey alongside him. So I'm really grateful for what this project has done for my personal growth, not just my creative growth.
Oh, I love that. Me and
Yeah,
Stacey
that's
can relate. We're the oldest in our family too, so
also,
yeah, it can be a struggle. We know. I always joke around that Ashley's technically the oldest because she's like 7 minutes older than me, but it's like all these memes that you see online, and it's like how are the eldest daughters doing, like raising their whole family and the perfectionist. And this is totally off subject, but I was watching Encanto with my kids today, and
Great.
uh Luisa's song, every time I
Oh,
hear it, I'm just like, it's an eldest daughter, like
it
anthem.
is. I love her. She's so great.
She's the
Uh,
best. Oh my gosh. Yeah. So like my kids like it because she's like throwing donkeys. I'm like almost crying, like tears when she's, you know what I mean? Like,
yeah.
yeah. Yeah. So cool. Okay. So, in the world of Golden Gosmere, it feels really rich and vivid. How did you approach the world building for your book? Was it challenging at all, or did it come easy?
I think that first of all, I have been consuming a lot more high fantasy. When I was writing
Mm,
before, it was mostly coming from a background primarily in TV and film.
mm,
I've worked in the animation industry and I studied under a lot of professors who worked in the film industry in general.
mm-hmm.
So I take a very cinematic approach to my world building. I kind of build out from the character arcs first, and I think, what does
Okay.
this world need to carry these stories effectively? And that helps
Mm-hmm.
me not fall into the world building trap of knowing all the different types of dirt, which is not even like a joke that my last books, I knew what types of dirt were in each part of the
Mm-hmm.
world. And this time I was like, you know what, let's be a little bit more effective with our time. So I recently wrote an essay about this. For a newsletter, but basically I kind of approached it in a shot for shot way rather than a line by
Mm,
line way. And I thought, okay, what is the cinematic composition that I want to appear in the reader's mind's eye in this scene?
mm,
And what needs to be on the screen, what needs to be in camera for them to get a sense of how this world is lived in. And everything kind of
mm,
just evolved from that visual in my brain of like sitting
mm,
in the movie theater of
mm,
my mind,
mm-hmm.
watching the book play out before I wrote it.
Mm. That's so cool. Yeah, that's really interesting. Just because I feel like we talk to so many different people and they have so many different approaches. That's the
Uh-huh.
first time I've heard it that way.
Yeah.
But I mean, honestly, when I'm really into a book and I'm reading, that's how I kind of picture it, like a movie when you're watching it. So it's cool that that's how you take to develop it too.
Thank you.
Also, this is totally off topic. Since you're into animation and that was your first love, do you have a favorite animated movie? Or
Oh
I'm just
yeah.
curious.
Oh my gosh,
Is that
there's
so hard to put you on the spot? I'm so
no,
sorry. Or
it's
just one you
no,
really
it's
like.
a great question because
Okay.
there truly are so many wonderful ones, but I have to think it's like, are we
Okay.
talking my favorite from an artistic perspective, my favorite for
Mm.
nostalgia purposes, my favorite for like, oh gosh, technique? I mean,
Oh.
there's so many different angles to look at it from. I really love this is kind of like a random poll.
Mm-hmm.
Very, very into Studio Ghibli. I watched, I think it's The Tale of Princess Kaguya this
Mm-hmm.
year, and the style is so refreshing and unique. And
Hmm.
obviously, that studio has a very distinct style. So
Yeah,
it was really cool to watch something of theirs that was done a little bit differently, and I was very impressed with the line work.
that's so cool. Yeah.
Stacey loves all of those movies.
Yeah, the Studio Ghibli ones. But you're right. It's so like you can tell. I mean, I don't know anything about animation really, but it all has a similar style. But that's one of the very few. There's only a few of them that are so different, and that one really is animated differently than like Spirited Away or like Howl's Moving Castle or anything
Which
like
are
that.
both also amazing.
I just watched Spirited Away last night.
It's such a good, that was one of my like major high school movies. Like when I would be up late working on a project, that would be on in the background.
Mm.
Oh, it's just so good.
It's
I
so
need to
good.
watch more of them. I've only seen My Neighbor Totoro. Is
Which
that what
is
it's
Yeah.
called,
awesome.
Stacey?
Panya was like my childhood one and Secret World of Arietti.
Oh.
Dude,
Those
I feel like people sleep on the Secret World of
they
Arietti so
do
much. They
beautiful
do.
backgrounds.
It's
Beautiful.
so pretty. Even when he's just laying out in the grass with his cat.
Yeah.
It's so pretty. Yeah.
It's just like pure eye candy. Like obviously the story's
Mhm.
also great, but you're just watching it.
Yeah.
It's like I want to live there. And every time it's a new setting, it's like, oh, I want to live there.
Hmm. See, I love that you have these takes because I feel like now Ashley's finally gonna watch one. I'm really gonna.
You should.
I'll watch more of them. You gotta tell me which one I need to watch
Okay, I
first.
I'll
will.
make a priority list. Send it over.
Yes.
I did
Yes.
like My Neighbor Totoro. It was so cute.
It
Hmm.
is cute. There's a couple cute ones. If you like cute, you should watch Ponyo
Hmm.
next.
Yeah, I like cute.
Oh yeah, yeah, that's
Ponyo's
like
my rec.
That's with like the fish, right? I've
Yeah,
seen little.
it's like a Little Mermaid retelling in a way.
hmm
I would love that.
hmm Betty White's voice is in it. It's incredible.
Oh yeah, I
Really?
forgot about that.
She's one of the ladies in the nursing home.
It's really cute. It's a cute watch.
It's so cute.
I can pull Betty White. I'm gonna watch it.
Exactly. Exactly. Okay, okay. We can get back into the book. Okay, so fantasy often walks a line between being really beautiful or being dangerous, having high stakes. Was it hard to walk that line to have such a rich world, but keep on track and keep the plot going too?
I really trimmed the fat on this story,
Okay.
which is something that I have always struggled to do, but I promised myself when I started writing this one that I'm going to take it a lot more seriously. It's not just going to be
Hmm.
about, I want to tell a story about a magical world. It's going to be, a matter of studying different techniques, reading works by authors, and seeing what I find successful. That said, I did have to be pushed by my peers to keep the stakes very high because I know
Hmm.
that some writers love to torment their characters. I can't stand it. It makes me so sad. Like I would write a world. It's a miracle I'm not a cozy fantasy author. I totally should be. But I like
Oh,
to
the
write a
best.
world where things work out and people get to be happy. But I
That's what I
knew that I
love.
wanted this to be more mature than my previous works. I was like, okay, well then I have to have some actual stakes. I
Hmm.
need to have really legit villains. I need to have protagonists that make difficult choices. So it was a lot of sending drafts to my best friend and showing my husband and saying, "Is this brutal enough?" And them going, "No." And I just had to keep upping the ante until it was somewhere that was, satisfying and kept readers engaged without being traumatizing because I still don't really love super intense dark stories, but
Hmm.
you need to have some drama. Besides, does my crush like me back?
Yeah.
Yeah. I love a cozy romance. I feel like Ashley really enjoys them a whole lot. I get into a little darker stuff sometimes too, but it is hard to balance. I can only imagine because it's hard as a reader. Sometimes when the stakes are so high and it doesn't work out the way you want it to work out, and you're like, what the hell is this? What were they thinking? I'm sure that's a lot of pressure if you're writing it, but like just I had a recent experience and I finished a duology and I was just like, I cannot believe my heart was like ripped out. But I don't know if it's like happy or sad. Like, were the stakes too high? It could have been.
I need
It
a happy ending.
I needed at least to be a hopeful ending. Like even if it's
Yes.
not
Mm,
happy, I need to feel like life will go on. Like
Yeah.
the characters aren't just gonna like lay down and die because they're so sad.
yeah, I'm gonna steal that. I love a hopeful ending too. I'm that's yeah.
Yeah, that's what I went for with this book. No spoilers,
Okay.
but it's a hopeful ending.
I love it.
So did you have a favorite character to write in this one?
Oh yes. Yes, I
Okay.
did. Okay, so he's not necessarily my favorite character, but he's easily my favorite character to write. So
Okay.
there's a character who's technically main cast, but he doesn't show up until like two-thirds in.
Hmm.
And his name is Lark. And Lark is this spy character who I originally intended to be very serious, whereas other characters were meant to be quite silly. But as the tone shifted and the story kept getting darker and more mature, those other characters ended up becoming quite serious. And so Lark ended up becoming the silly member of the cast.
Hmm.
And they come in at a point when the story's just gotten really, really like Bummersville, USA. And every line, I was just cracking myself up writing the chapter where Lark first shows up. And I was just like, this is the funniest character I've ever written. I have a very dry sense of humor. I don't like,
Hmm.
I used to be very into like the like Marvel movie quip banter type of writing.
Love. Hmm.
And it definitely is still like there, but
Hmm.
it's just it's delivered very straight. Um and it comes at such a needed time in the book that I think that makes it feel even funnier because it's so refreshing.
Hmm.
So just any scene with Lark, I had a great time because they just have so much personality. And
Mm.
when everybody else is going through like life-changing character arcs, it's needed.
Yeah, a little relief.
Yeah. Oh, I love Lark. Lark is great.
Um, okay, well, I can't wait to meet them. I also I become obsessed with, like you said, he's part of the main cast, but like secondary characters who have such big personalities that you can like really read and get into, especially if they like have a humorous side. I tend to gravitate towards them too.
Yeah, it's the
So,
best. It's just
yeah,
needed. It's really needed.
I'm
It's the
excited to
best.
meet them.
So what do you hope readers like take away from this book? Is there something specific or
I would say more than anything, like it is a love story, but I've been saying that it's more a self-love story than anything. Like there is
mm,
a very key romance. Like, I mean, you've seen the cover. It's clearly a romance, romantic.
Hmm.
hmm
But Dante is the lead, and he's a character who struggles a lot with his sense of obligation, his sense of like reputation, appearance. He wants to be what other people refuse to see in him. Like he wants to show them that he can be great, but you can tell that he really struggles inside with believing that he's great. And it's through this relationship, this like nemesis thing that he's doing with the Fairy Queen, who really is not taking it seriously at all. She's like, okay, if you want to fight me, I'll fight you, but also like, I'll see you next Tuesday for our next epic battle, buddy. Um, through her, because she's this very unabashedly herself character. She
Hmm.
doesn't really care anymore. She cared in the past, but she's kind of realized that she's the only person who has to live with her every day and like wake up and be her. And she kind of tries to impart that onto him. And it's really a story of him realizing that like he's only going to make himself miserable trying to fit the mold that everybody else around him is trying to create for him. And I think that people who read this will come away from it with the sense that they can be a little bit more authentically themselves, hopefully.
Oh, that's beautiful. I love that. Hmm.
Yeah.
Okay. So, okay, hold on. Sorry, I lost my place. About the magic in the book, was that hard to create? Did it come organically to you as the character arcs were fleshing out?
So the magic system, I think for me, was kind of the byproduct of all of the writing videos I was watching on YouTube because
Hmm.
I went really far down the rabbit hole of like hard magic systems versus soft magic systems
Hmm.
and like the effect that Brandon Sanderson has had on how fantasy approaches
Yeah.
magic. And I was like, well, I have these two different societies that use magic. It would be kind of funny to like play with that. So I used more of a soft magic approach for the fairies
Okay.
who see magic as like more of a natural part of life, and then a more hard magic system for the mages who are humans that can use magic because they already know that they have kind of like a sketchy reputation for being able to use magic, which is the stuff of fairies. So they call it something different and they make up all these rules for it and they ban all these different types. Now you can only do these kinds of magic and it's not called magic, it's called intent. And you learn it in a school and you have, certain programs that you can use it for and you use it for your job versus fairies who are like, oh, it's kind of windy today. I'm going to use magic to make the wind go another way. And it's just like not even something they think about.
Hmm.
So in a way, it's kind of like genre commentary, but I feel like in more of an inside joke way where like people I tell that know, but if you don't
Hmm.
know, you could just be like, wow, their societies are so different.
Yeah. I well, I love that. It's almost like with one end you're like, oh, like learning in the school and intellectual, and then like with the fairies more of like heart, like that's what it makes me think of. But I recently started, I don't read a lot of Brandon Sanderson, and I started reading his Mistborn trilogy, and I just like was
Yeah.
not used to the complex like
It took me a second. It really did.
truly, it took me the whole book, I think, to like, and I'm like looking up things on this. I'm like, am I not smart enough to like get this right off the bat? It's like a metal magic system, Ash. I don't know if you've started it, but
It's really
do you
unique.
like it? Because I hear people love the Mistborn series.
Me?
I,
Both of
either of
you.
us.
Like,
Oh, I haven't finished it. I only read the one book so far, but
I don't think it's his best. Like it's definitely got its cult following, and I have friends who are
hmm.
like diehard Mistborn fans. I have a friend who like hand sewed his own like Mistborn cloak for a
Oh my God,
convention.
that's
Like he's like
incredible.
into it. But I think that there's a lot of cool stuff in it that shows, where his writing would go
Yeah.
afterward, and that's what I appreciate about it.
Yeah. I just appreciate that I did not understand any of it at first. And I really thought I was like a pretty decent fantasy reader up until the point where I started it last year because someone I work with is very much obsessed with it, which it is very good. But like, I literally was looking up like Reddit things to understand more of like, to
you're like,
finally
what's
like see,
happening?
to like get it to click. And I was just like, oh, this is interesting. I don't know how someone thinks of this in their head, but yeah, it was interesting. So yes.
So let's talk a little bit about like your writing process, if you
Mhm.
don't mind. I know
Yeah.
you kind of mentioned it before a little bit. So are you like more of a planner? Like you know what's you're wanting to happen, or is it just kind of like you said, you see it as a movie scene as it's like happening?
So I'll explain kind of like where it starts and then I'll rush through the
Mhm.
middle, like most books do, and then I'll tell you how it
Mhm.
ends.
Love.
Originally, for me, it kind of starts with like a few key scenes that I can absolutely see in my head, like big moments. And then
Hmm.
I put those down in like a notes app or on physical sticky notes, or I rush them into my laptop. And then I think,
Hmm.
okay, somehow I have to connect these beats. Something has to happen in between so that I can write the scenes I actually want to write. Uh,
Hmm.
and then that's usually where I kind of just throw caution to the wind. But with Golden Gossamer, like I said, I went to school for animation and I have a couple really close friends from there who are story people as well, because I technically majored in concept and storytelling under the animation degree.
Ooh, okay.
And my best friend, her name is Joanna. She is a fabulous storyteller. And
Mhm.
she's very honest. And so I put down my sticky notes and I said, this is what I've thought of. And she went through it. She went, that's great. That's not. That's great. Move that. Change this. This should go here. And what if we did this? And I said, Joanna, you're a genius. And we sat for like a whole night just rearranging sticky notes on like the cardboard back of my calendar, my school schedule calendar. And then we, went outside and like stargazed and talked about it and started like pitching dialogue back and forth. And I was like, wait, Joanna, we're on to something. And then so from there, I wrote an outline. I sent her the outline and I was like, okay, what do you think? I like spaced out a little bit, and she was like, "Oh, this looks really good. Still change this. This speech should be here." But it would not look like it does without Joanna. God bless Joanna. I love her. She and I are in a long distance friendship right now. She moved. I'm so sad. But we text and call all the time, and she's just been so key to the evolution of my work. So once I had it, Joanna approved.
Hmm.
I wrote it basically a chapter a week. Tried to
Hmm.
keep my schedule consistent so memories would be fresh. And so I would write a chapter, I would edit the previous chapter, and then I would take a week to have fresh eyes before editing the next chapter. I did a whole draft. I left it alone for a few months, and then I came back, did a whole new draft just by myself without other input yet.
Hmm.
Another few months, sent it to some beta readers, got their feedback back, compiled their feedback, went through and did a beta reader edit, and then one more edit for like line editing. Um, and then I started working on formatting, got my cover designed, and now it's a book.
Holy
Amazing.
shit, dude. That's incredible. Also, your
Yeah.
friend Joanne is a beast. We all need a friend
She
like her. Oh
is.
my gosh.
Oh, I love her so.
Just the cherry on the top of that story, though, for me was you saying that first of all, you put it on the back of your like calendar, and then the stargazing. That's a true friendship right there. Like
Uh-huh.
doing all that and then like staring at the stars
It's one
together.
of our best memories. We talk about it all the time. We're like, remember that time? That was so like we were writers.
It's like a core memory now. It's like a core
Really
memory for
is.
me, and I wasn't even there. So, so it sounds like she was incredible help, and it
Yes.
sounds like you had a pretty good system with how you did it. Did you find that from the initial, when you wrote everything and she kind of looked at stuff, did any big scenes change from that to the final edit, or did it all pretty much stay the same?
Honestly, once she and I sat down with it, it was pretty much locked in. It looked very different before that day. Um,
Mm-hmm.
but she added so much, and there's actually a character in the book. Her name is Lumina. She's technically an antagonist.
Ooh.
But Joanna really helped me make her feel legit
Mm-hmm.
because it's very easy for me because I love writing comedic dialogue and comedic characters. I have to push myself to create more serious work. It's very easy for me to make my villains feel a little bit like petty and silly and Megamind adjacent.
Mm-hmm.
And so she was basically, the godmother of that character and was like, well, if you really want her to feel intense, she should do this. She should say this. And
Mm-hmm.
she says, Lumen is my baby. So even though she's like a terrible character, you read her and you're just like, oh, she's awful.
Mm-hmm.
Joanna loves it and she's very proud of how it all came out because she basically guided me through creating an effective antagonist in that character.
Oh, that's so I personally love really well written like villainous characters
Oh yeah.
that feel villainous, and it is hard to do. And I know we're stuck on animation. One, I'm obsessed with animated movies. All I do is watch them all the time.
Talking to the right person. I'm the
Ex
same way.
This is like lining up perfect for me. So I guess what I was thinking when you said like, oh, the Mega Mind villain, when I think of like really scary like villains, I think of like Mother Gothel from Tangled. I think she's a really great, complex, like truly
Uh-huh.
villainous character who almost seems funny but isn't, like the
Yeah.
opposite kind of.
Yeah.
And then I also think of Frollo from Hunchback of Notre Dame. Like,
Hmm.
That movie is so good, and I wish they hadn't pulled the punch. Like they do like the little comedy bits for the kids. If they had just
hmm
committed and let that movie be really dark, it's
Hmm.
it's artistically stunning. It's
Hmm.
like a
hmm
masterpiece, and then there's like a gargoyle song.
Hmm.
I know, I know, I know. It's
And I
like,
know the
why?
writers and the animators were not happy. I know that was some executive's choice. It's like, oh, guys, we need something for the kids.
Yeah,
Hmm.
For the kids. As if kids don't like love an edgy, crazy story. If not, they're like
right.
move to the screen, they're like, whoa, this is intense. And
Hmm.
then it like forms you as a person. And when you're older, you're like, this is the book I read that I was way too young for, or this is the movie I watched that I was way too young for. And now it shapes everything I love about everything.
Exactly. It's like we don't need to watch the Hellfire song and then it's like when the gargoyles like pretending to like
Yeah.
eat a hot dog that looks like a cigar or something. Like
It
I was
just
just like,
feels like it doesn't match. And
yeah.
it's still a great movie.
Yeah.
But like back to the thing you were saying about like a good
Yes.
villainess.
hmm
So I could go on about this forever, so I'll try to keep my thoughts succinct. But
hmm
like I think women just need to be more evil.
Yes.
As silly as that sounds, like it drives me crazy when I'm engaging with a piece of media that has a really well written, either morally gray female character or full on
hmm
like bad evil female character because it's like you just know immediately the second you look up anything about the story, people are either going to be like hating on her or saying she's like the
Mm-hmm.
worst person ever, or like comparing her to the male villain and being like, well, this male villain is like secretly a sunshine baby with a tragic backstory. But
Mm-hmm.
that woman, she's a witch and she should die. It's like, okay,
Mm-hmm.
that's a lot. That's
Mm-hmm.
a lot that we're doing right now. So like with Golden Gossamer, I have three main like female characters. There's the Fairy Queen, who's, the principal female lead, the love interest, and
Mm-hmm.
nemesis character. Elvine, who's the chief advisor to the Mage King and his best friend, and then Princess Lumina, who I discussed before. And they're not all evil, but
Mm-hmm.
they are all strategists.
Mm-hmm.
And they all have like clear motivations and they're trying to like steer the story a certain way. Because I think it gets really frustrating when the female characters are kind of just there as accessories.
Mm-hmm.
But it's also kind of frustrating when they're all very one note or they're all the same. So I wanted them all to feel intelligent and like they had a part
Mm-hmm.
to play in the political machinations of this world. But I gave them all very distinctly different feelings where we have like almost like the childhood best friend, like familial, like I will always be there to have your back. That's Elvine. And then we have Lumina, who's like, I will do what it takes to get to the top. And if I
Mm-hmm.
hurt you on the way up, like, sorry, but I really don't care. And then the Fairy Queen, who is honestly a pretty decent person, but she revels in the whole all the theatrics of being perceived as this wicked, wicked woman. And she just
Mm-hmm.
plays right into it and she doesn't care and she thinks it's fun because she knows who she is and it doesn't really matter what other people call her.
Mm-hmm.
I just think
I
that's
can uh that's incredible. And I can already tell that Ashley loves. That's like her favorite thing. I'm saying like she's not right here. She loves female characters like that. So I know she's gonna love the Fairy Queen a ton. One of her favorite, she loves the cool girl monologue from Gone
I
Girl.
mean, Gone
So
Girl is probably like my favorite book of all time. I just love it. So yeah, but anyways, I love a
yeah.
complex female character.
But I think that it's something that's so true is like you said, like a man could be like, I'm gonna do anything to get to the top. It doesn't matter if someone gets in my way. And they're considered almost applauded for it because they're so driven by this like need to be powerful. And then a woman does it, and like you said, it's like, oh, she's a bitch. Like she didn't care who she stepped on this. You know what I mean? It's like such a double standard. And I love when people aren't afraid to write characters more that way and not make it a bad thing
yeah.
because women could always be worse and meaner than they are, and they should be, in
And
my
they
opinion.
should be.
They should be.
It's good for them. It's good for the soul.
Yeah.
Hmm. It's so true because, and this is kind of off topic too, but I read an early book early on NetGalley from this author that I really like. It's a really great book. Generally, they write male characters, and so there's a female character in this book. And the reviews that I would read, and they ended up the author commented on it, just how much hate the female character was getting in this book when the personality is very similar to other male characters she's had in her novels past, and they get praised all the time. And she's like, this or they were like, this is wild how people are attacking her character when it's not even that far off from other characters that they've made in novels. And I'm like, this is just the society we live in right now still, I guess. But
Yeah.
mhm.
Gotta be the change. Gotta write more
Yes.
evil women, guys. We need
Hmm.
to fill
Exactly.
every single book with 1 million evil women.
That's right.
Please don't let
Okay.
that be like the quote you take from this.
Yes.
Uh-huh. That's it.
I love it. So a little bit back to your writing process. Do you have any fun or some kind of like any kind of ritual you do when you write for like good luck or anything like that?
Honestly, the two things I can think of is before I start a writing session or any kind of work session, really, like this applies to my art too. I walk my dog. Um,
Oh.
I have a senior rescue Chihuahua that I got last year. He's 13 and he has one
Oh,
eye. And we named him Captain Patches, like an eye patch, like a pirate.
Hmm.
He's the sweetest thing. He's basically a cat, honestly. He doesn't bark,
oh.
he just snuggles and sleeps because he's old. But
Hmm.
when you take him out on a walk, he's suddenly like a puppy and he wants to
Hmm.
run and he wants to be out there for half an hour. So it's a really good reset because it gets me outside, it gets me exercise.
Hmm.
It's an activity with a loved one, even if that loved one, has four paws and one eye. Uh,
Hmm.
and then when I come back, I love to make myself a good iced chai latte. I love a
Mhm.
good iced chai latte. And then, I sit down. I have a desk, but for some reason, I just like writing on my couch. So
Mm.
walk the chihuahua, drink the chai latte, sit on the couch. Lots of words. That's
I love it.
the
Mhm. The three C's.
The
Yep.
three C's.
Well, our
I,
mom had a Chihuahua and he
yeah.
lived to be 19. So
Oh,
And
yeah.
he looked like a zombie at the end. We called
yeah,
him
we
Zombie
did call him
Dog.
the zombie dog towards the
Yeah.
end, but he was pretty good for the most part. So
Hmm.
And they can
Yeah.
live a long time. I think they're like the longest lived breed. I have a friend who had a Chihuahua that lived to 23.
Oh my God.
Not like I
That's
would want
insane.
to. If I was a Chihuahua, I'd be like, I'm done.
mhm.
It's
I'm
like
done with the
128
travel.
years old in human years or something insane.
Basically, yeah, but
Crazy.
man, we always wonder, we're like, is he really 13? Because he seems a little bit spry. Like
Hmm.
he'll run, he'll jump, he'll get the zoomies,
Mhm.
but who knows? We'll take it. We just do our best to
Yeah.
keep him
Yeah.
happy.
Yeah. Ashley can relate. She has a how old's Lebowski, your Maltese?
I have a Maltese. He's
Oh,
15.
He's
He's an
old.
oh,
old
He old
man,
boy. He old
but
boy.
he's still kicking. He's not a zombie yet.
they're sturdy, those little dogs.
I'm like, Lebowski, are you okay, buddy? He's just, I mean, he wears diapers, but he's doing fine.
He does. He's little diapers.
Oh, my
His
child
little
has
belly
lots of
bands.
diapers. Gosh. I could get sidetracked talking about dogs. I should focus. Let me focus.
No,
Okay.
I'll talk about
No.
dogs forever. So,
Yeah.
um, so can you kind of like if you have any upcoming projects or anything that you're working
Mhm.
on now that you can talk about?
Yeah. So I actually wrote Golden Gossamer a while ago. I wanted to give myself like a nice long runway in case anything went wrong, since I
Mhm.
am, self-published. So I handle all that stuff myself and everything can go wrong. So I want to have
Hmm.
a lot of extra time. And in the time since I wrote it, I've actually started drafting outlines for two other projects. I don't know what order I'm gonna approach them in. I do
Mhm.
have the outline for a sequel. Um,
Okay, that was going to be one of our questions, so that's good to know.
Hmm.
there's an outline for a sequel. I'm not super sure how locked in it is because I've just kind of been fiddling with it, saying, I have time, I have time. But now that the first book's out, it's like, okay, well, I need to decide if I'm gonna do this.
Hmm.
But first I'm obviously gonna have to pitch it to Joanna. So it has to get Joanna ready first.
Yes, that
Um,
stamp of approval.
and then I
Hmm.
also have a fantasy thriller that I'm working on the side, just as kind of like a project to make sure that I stay fresh and I don't, fall into the rabbit hole of one world for
Yeah.
years, because that's what happened last time. And that one I'm thinking of doing almost like half murder mystery, half like hiding the crime.
Oh.
And that, because I've never written a thriller before, but I feel like that would be a
Hmm.
really fun challenge now that I'm more confident in my actual prose.
Hmm.
So we'll see if that one comes to be anything, but that's
Yeah.
probably further off than the sequel.
Hmm. I think a thriller, I love a good thriller, so that would
I
be
do too.
cool. Also, I think it's already great that you don't want to that you want to try different things and not get stuck in one place and keep it
Like one
fresh.
world.
It's
Hmm.
so easy to get stuck.
Oh, I
It's
bet.
so easy. And I spent
Hmm.
so long on the project I did before Golden Gossamer because, well, thankfully, I'm glad I did this. I create you've heard this story a million times from who knows how many like writing influencers or artists online. It's like I've had this world since I was 14, but it was like
Hmm.
that. And I started writing, I wrote this whole version of it when I was like 14, 15, 16.
Hmm.
And then when the pandemic happened and I had nothing else to do, I was like, oh, I should write this as actual novels. But thank God I saw a YouTube video that was like, if you're gonna write a story and you have a draft, delete the whole draft and start over. And I was like, you know what? I'm gonna be brave and delete the whole thing. And it still reads like a 14-year-old wrote it, but it was slightly less because I wrote it when I was 19. So I'm glad I deleted that whole first draft because it just radiated
Hmm.
14-year-old girl vibes. And I love 14-year-old girl vibes, but not for my first novel.
Yeah.
So I was in that world, from 14 really to 21, 22, and I want to make sure that I'm a little bit more flexible going forward, just so that I can, diversify my portfolio a bit more.
Yeah. Also, that's crazy that you had a first draft when you were 14. I can't even imagine.
Yeah.
I was just like reading fanfic and like, oh my God, the people are so crazy. And you're like, it was me. I was writing all this stuff. And I'm like, oh, that's crazy.
I was on both sides of the screen for sure. For sure.
Okay, good. Um, well, that's really exciting.
Mhm.
If you could like picture any author to like collab with, do you have like a favorite one that you would love to do a project with?
Oh my gosh. I mean, it's a long list.
Hmm
I'm trying to think because for me, I struggle with it because when you say an author to collaborate with, I have to think,
hmm
what do I bring to the table to my favorite
A
author?
lot. A lot,
Um,
yeah.
because I if I tried to realistically collaborate with them, I'm sure I would just devolve into like a fangirl mess and just be like, I love your work. They'd be like, okay, well, can we lock in this draft, please? Um,
They're like, focus.
yeah, it's like, come on, lock in, girl, like get it together.
Mhm.
But oh my gosh, hold on. Let me look her up
Yeah.
because I'm gonna accidentally say her Instagram handle instead of her actual name.
I'm glad I'm not the only one who has that problem because I'll make posts and try to tag the author or whoever, and then I'm like, oh, it's not popping up. Oh, I can't remember their handle or like vice versa. And
Okay,
yeah.
yes, I had it right. I just wanted to be sure.
Okay.
Roseanne A. Brown is my favorite author. She wrote a duology that I read while I was in college. The first book is called A Song of Wraiths and Ruin, and the second book is called A Psalm of Storms and Silence. I did fan art for it like way back in the day that she saw and liked, so I was very starstruck when that happened. She writes a lot of different age range books, but that was like one of her YA pieces, and I just went crazy for that world. It's like a West African fantasy world with like pulls from like
Mm,
mythology and folklore, and it just rocked my world. It was so refreshing.
mm.
Um, and I read the second book, which was like 550 pages or something in one day,
Oh my God.
because I was just obsessed. Like
You're
Hmm
locked in.
I was that's how I lock in. I'll
hmm
lock in on that. But if I ever had the opportunity to work with her on anything, even if it was just like making an art piece for her promotional stuff, I would just die of happiness. I think she's brilliant.
Oh, well, literally when we get off here, I'm gonna look her up. I feel like I've
Oh,
heard the
it's awesome.
title of at least the first one before. It sounds really familiar
They're
to me.
so good. They're so good.
And there's just something about a YA fantasy that hits so good when
I
you find
know.
like it's like so hit or miss sometimes, I feel like.
Yep.
But I end up liking them more than high fantasy sometimes when you find a really good one. Like I talk about all the time, I never shut up about Legendborn on here. It's like one of my favorite fantasy worlds and it's considered YA, I think. But yeah. And we just did like a Hunger Games reread and I'm just
Mhm.
like, "Oh, so good. It's
I
all,
love the
yeah.
Red Queen.
Yeah.
If you're a good writer, it doesn't matter what group you're writing
Yeah.
for, you know? Like
Mm-hmm.
it's the same thing with like what we've been talking about animated movies. Like as
Mm-hmm.
an adult, you can still enjoy them even if they were targeted to kids if they're written well.
Yeah.
Right.
So like I think the key thing for me is just making sure that I, bounce around. Like I read some YA, I read some high fantasy, I read some nonfiction. I love a good like nonfiction history book. Like
Mm-hmm.
there's while I was researching for Golden Gossamer, I was doing a lot of research on like the actual medieval period, not just in Europe,
Mm-hmm.
but like the real life Middle Ages, not the like stereotypical Dark Ages. Um,
Yeah.
to pick and choose what I wanted to put in my world. But I came across this one historian. Her name is Dr. Eleanor Yanega, and I found out that she wrote a book about women in the medieval period and how like rich their inner lives were, and how it's like you see the stereotype of like the fair maiden or like the nun, and that's kind of it.
Mm-hmm.
Which but
Yeah.
it's such a good book and her writing style is so funny. And I think like sprinkling in some nonfiction with all my fiction reads has been
Mm-hmm.
that book is called The Once and Future Sex. If you're looking for a nonfiction read that's
Ooh.
really like quick and funny, but also educational, that would be my rec. It's a great one.
Oh. Okay, I'm gonna check that out. I'm reading kind of like a medieval time book too right now, but it's fantasy. But I can tell that some of it's like research too, like it has like a truth to it, and I think that's pretty cool. Okay, so how we like to end the show is we'll do like a quick little game. It's like
Mhm.
a this or that. It's really fun and Sometimes me and Ashley will jump in and we'll answer the questions
Yeah.
too, just because we want to be a part of it. But that's what, so this is what we're gonna do. Okay. Okay, hold on, let me find it. Hold on 1 second. Okay. Do you like dragons more or fae more? Like fairies?
Fairies.
Mhm. Yeah.
Dragons, I can get into dragons if like the rest of the world makes sense with them, but I also
Hmm.
feel like I just have consumed so much dragon media that after a
Mhm.
while it's like you have to have like a really fresh take on it to grab.
Hmm.
How to Train Your Dragon though is the exception. I love those movies. Those are great.
Oh my God, they're so good. They're so good.
Oh, good. Because like Toothless is based on a cat, and that's like cute
I
and
know.
refreshing and
So
different, and
cute.
like the mannerisms are so there. Like I
Mhm.
love the creativity with that. And the same thing does apply to fairy stories though. I feel like a lot of them
Hmm.
kind of hit the same formula over and over and over. So it's like I just want to see something a little different every time.
Yeah. Okay. Do you I can't even speak. Which would you rather see, a sword fight or a spell battle?
Sword fight, just
Mhm.
because I need to go to the gym and lift more, and seeing people swing swords is impressive.
Uh-huh.
Yeah. Do you like a slow burn or a love triangle more?
Oh, I need a slow burn. I need
Oh,
it to
slow
be, I
burn.
need
Okay.
so much yearning. Like, I need the characters to be like as pathetic as possible. Like,
Yes.
they need to be
Mhm.
just dying for each other. They have to be competent in every other way. They can't just
Hmm.
like lay around and be sad, but they need to be devastated at the very thought of the other character before they fall in love. They need to earn it. I need a slow burn.
Yeah.
Mhm.
I have to agree. And I feel like it's very hard for me to like a love triangle. It has to be very, I
So
say it's like I
hard.
wasn't obsessed with Twilight my whole life
I
still,
just
but
watched
still.
those movies again this
Mhm.
year. They get funnier every time. I love
Every
them.
time.
We went to the movie theater and saw it like a few weeks ago, Ash.
So
I
fun.
was literally watching the screen and I was like, I can't look at the screen. I was like laughing, embarrassed. I loved it, but I was like so embarrassed. I was
Yeah.
like, oh my God.
I
Okay.
didn't watch them when I was young, so like I only know how to engage with them ironically, but
Uh-huh.
they are a delight.
Yeah.
For all the wrong
Uh,
reasons, but they are.
would you prefer a forest kingdom or a castle court?
I'm gonna go with Forest Kingdom because I burn really easily and I would love the shade of a forest
Mhm.
kingdom. I will take the Forest Kingdom.
I think the vibes would be better in the forest too,
Yeah.
Clean
personally.
air also. I feel like castles kind of have like a stink to
Hmm.
Yeah.
them.
Okay. Would you rather write by candlelight or midnight moonlight?
Ooh. See that's a hard one. I don't have an immediate answer for that one.
Hmm.
Mm, I'm gonna go with candlelight because I think
Mm,
that the warm light's probably better for my brain.
Yeah.
yeah. I was thinking, even if the moon was super bright, would you be able to see? Probably
Probably
not. At
not.
least you
You
can
have
bring the
to be
candle
like
closer.
outside, and it would have to
Yeah.
be like a cloudless night, and it's
Mhm.
cold out there right now. I'm in
Mhm.
the middle-ish of North Carolina, and it was like 28 degrees yesterday.
Mm-mm.
My dog was not having it.
No. He needs
He
like snow dog boots or
I need to get
something.
him little boots, even though he
Hmm.
will hate that. It's
He'll
just
never
not
wear them.
time to
Yeah.
wear it. So the thought of riding in the moonlight right now, not as
Hmm.
fulfilling as maybe in like the height of summer with the fireflies.
Mhm.
Yeah. Okay. Would you rather read A Prophecy Destined or A Fate Rewritten?
I think, oh my gosh. Okay.
That's hard, dude. I'm trying to think. That's hard.
I feel like Fate Rewritten is like much more it's becoming more popular. So I
Hmm.
almost feel like the nostalgia of the Prophecy Destined. I also like I think if you come at that with like the almost like the tragic angle, it can just be so spectacular.
Mhm.
Just doomed by the narrative. I love a story where a character is just kind of like fated and they can't escape it because I think it's such an interesting character study every time.
Hmm.
Mhm.
Yeah, that's cool. I always think of well, I really love, this is so random, but it made me think when you said that. I love the book Cersei, and there's like a line about like when people try to pull away from their fate, it's like a noose around your neck and it pulls like tighter the more you try to fight it. So
Mhm.
this is interesting. Okay, this is the last one. Would you rather live in your world or read about it from a safe distance?
Safe distance. I have loved designing it. I'm sure
Hmm.
if I had to live in it, I would probably be able to like pick out on a map where I would choose to place myself the furthest from the chaos.
Hmm.
But Yeah, it's fun to imagine being there as like an invisible camera entity in my head.
Mhm.
But if I woke up tomorrow and I was in their world, I would probably cry and try to find a hole to hide in.
I literally think all the time, like because we obviously love to read, and I'm like, I would never survive in half these world. I
I
would
would love
like,
that.
I'd be going to like the first chapter. I'm just like, I gotta read it from a safe distance too.
I'd be like the background character that they kill off to show how serious the like stakes of the world are.
Literally.
Mhm.
Yeah, no, safe distance for me, thanks.
Mhm.
Okay, so how we like to end our show is we'll do like a little kudos where we can go around and say something that we're glad happened, a kudos for someone or something this week, and we would love to join if you feel up to it. We'll let you go last.
Yeah, but no
And
pressure
then,
if you don't want
yeah,
to.
no pressure. And then we want to make sure before we end that we can tell everyone where they can find all your info and stuff at and everything. So,
Yeah,
okay. Do you want to go first, Ashley, with the
Yeah,
kudos?
my kudos is obviously for you, Riley. Like, this has been so fun. Thank you so
Mm-hmm.
much for taking time out of your busy day to chat with us. And we're just so excited for you and we'll be so excited if there ends up being a sequel too. So just thank you so much.
thank you.
My kudos is obviously for you, mostly for this book. Secondly, because I think Ashley's finally going to watch Ponyo now, and I've only been trying to get it for my entire life, so
Forever.
forever. And also to your friend Joanna, because she seems like a really great friend, and I'm sad you guys have to do long distance. I'm also going to kudos one of my really good best friends is moving to Texas. We live in Indiana. She moves tomorrow, actually.
Yeah.
So it's rough,
Hannah.
dude. Hannah. So it's rough. So I want to kudos her and my friend Katie because we went and saw Halsey last weekend in Chicago, and it was you got to have friends you'll wait in the snow for
Yeah.
to
That's
just,
real
just
friendship.
that's real
Mhm.
friendship. So, but mostly for you because this has been really really fun, and everyone needs to read your book. It
Yes.
I hope they
and
I hope they love it.
yeah. So yeah.
Okay, I'm gonna also kudos Joanna because I feel like I have just been fangirling over her half this
Mhm.
episode. Rightly so. Rightly so.
Rightly
Right.
so.
I will
Hmm,
be
hmm.
sending this to her and be like, just so you know, I love you or whatever.
I love you too. I've never met
Yeah,
you,
we don't
but
know.
you sound like a really great friend.
I'm also gonna kudos my husband because he helped me with a lot of the formatting, editing. He was my basically my, therapist as I was
Mhm.
freaking out
Mhm.
over what if the book doesn't do well? What if people don't like it? What if they love it? What do I do? So his patience has been key. And I'm also just gonna kudos all of the people who believed in this story start to finish. When I posted the announcement that it was finally published, I got a lot of really sweet comments from people who were like, I've been here since that very first animation. It's been so
Oh.
cool to watch it evolve, and like we feel so proud of you. And I was like, oh my God. So kudos to all of them. Because, I don't even know what the story would look like without the people in my life that helped shape it. So
Mhm.
big, big love to all of those people.
Mhm. That's so nice. Mhm.
I love it.
Okay, can you tell everyone where they can find your book and maybe like your social media handle so people can follow you? And we're gonna post it all too, don't worry.
Yeah.
But
So, my Instagram, which is where I'm mostly active, is Riley Quinn Art. My TikTok is Riley Quinn Art Official, because someone stole my username on there and is pretending to be me. I need to get kicked. So Riley Quinn Art Official on TikTok,
mm-hmm.
Riley Quinn Art on YouTube. I also have a website, rileyquinnart.com, where I have some of the Golden Gossamer concept art if people want to go look at that. And I have a link tree with all the links to my book, but you can find it on Amazon and Barnes and Noble for sure. That's where it absolutely is.
Yay.
Yay.
Thank you
Yay!
so much.
Thank
Yes.
This has been
you.
so fun.
Yeah.
I
Well,
had a really great time.
thank you so much for joining us. We can't wait for everyone to hear this episode. And nerds, make sure that you read what you like this week.